You're getting my blood pressure up. I don't agree with it. God literally split the sea for us. He did all these miracles. Tragic. It's heartbreaking to me.
There are a number of Jews that are more sympathetic to Hamas and the Palestinians, which is surprising, but it's a reality. And so even though within our own families, and our own personal network, we know these individuals, we might think you're in your own echo chamber, but you're not, because there are Jews that need to see the reality and start seeing the light.
I cannot describe to you. This infuriates me. It really, you know what? Like if you're a liberal Jew in America and you sided with the Palestinian narrative pre-October 7th, I don't agree with it, but I can maybe, sympathize. Maybe. Now, after what happened, you're not taking your brother's side? Talk about lack of talk about moral bankruptcy, right? But again, we have to put it in historical perspective. And I don't want to get too biblical on you here, but we have to remember, we talk about Egypt, right? We were enslaved for 210 years, and then we left Egypt. Nobody talks about this. Do you know, Sean, that 80% of Jews didn't leave? 80% of Jews stayed in Egypt, didn't leave. 80%. It's crazy. In the desert, we were going into Israel. God literally split the sea for us. He did all these miracles. We sent in 12 spies. 10 of them came back and said, don't go in there. Let's stay in the desert. This is what we do. This is what we do. And every single, exile in every single country, we try to out German the Germans, out Greek the Greeks. And who are the most liberal people in America? It's the Jews. We always do this. And I think it's tragic. It's really, it's heartbreaking to me. But, we got to do what we got to do. We got to continue spreading the positive message. And I 100% can tell you that I've had people comment on my post saying, I am a liberal, Jewish who stood by Palestine, and now I am standing by your side. So there are people who are changing their tune, but the phenomenon of, I don't know if to call it self-hating Jews or what. At this point, you can't not call it that, right? These are people that are supporting what Hamas did. It's terrible. It's absolutely tragic.
So it's a surprise and shock to all of us. Well, this has been really helpful, Hillel. It sounds like the two things, correct me if I'm wrong, that you'd like us to do is, one, sign up for an X account, and two, create our first post.
I have to just mention, if I may, a lot of people have pushed back on that. I would recommend anyone that thinks that to go examine the facts. There are bad people that still exist, and there are anti-Semites there. It's true, but you have to understand that, when we're talking about hundreds of millions of people, things are going to fall through the cracks. And I do think at the end of the day, just to sum up everything that I'm saying, X is where the conversation's happening. X is the most influential. And to top it all off, it's also the lowest barrier to entry. So it's really win-win across the board.